Hello YouTube. Today we are back by popular demand with Houston, Texas trash trucks on Google Maps, part 11. There's the time. It's currently 12:30, not 12:39. I'm sorry. That's the time, and we're here in Northeast Houston with our first find. The maps for the Northeast Yard were updated for May of 2024. So that was during the time when Houston was getting all kinds of new trucks. So that's the first one that we have here is the city's newest collection for junk waste, tree waste, and dump sites. That is, the first one they got is 552-761. Which that is a white Freightliner with a Peterson Atlas grabber with a Peterson dump bed. I did film another one that was like back in July, and that was 52385. That was collecting debris from Hurricane Beryl. So definitely interesting. And I do especially like the color combo with the green arm, the white cab, and the black grille and the black body. It just gives it a very, very snazzy look, you know? And they do also have a few white Macs on a Palfinger Epsilon grabber, and the rest of them are Peterson grabbers. So. And like I also told you, they also got a new rear steer, which is 51,892, and that's northeast as well. So these trucks are called the one-man trucks because, you know, it's one driver and one person operating the truck. So yeah, that's why they have the nickname that they have, is because they are operated by one person. And I do have an interesting surprise as well. Not only with the white Max with the Palfinger Epsilons and the blue Max and the white Freightliners with the Peterson Atlas. And we're getting close. So I don't know if I showed you that one. That's 46,699, and then that's the one that's a International HV with the Peterson Atlas. That's 52,446, and that truck's actually not northeast, it's actually now southeast. The northeast yard is being the biggest yard, so that's where they basically prep the truck and get it ready to get going. And look at that, there's a electric Ford F-150 right there. That's what they've been getting, which I find very interesting. And really and truly, when I noticed they got an International for a grabber truck, I immediately kind of felt some nostalgic feeling, because I remember back when Houston had the International rear steers, the old International Durastars, and I believe I don't know if it was the 4900s or something, but those I didn't see, because those trucks, I don't know if they were still around, because those are like early 2000s to possibly the 90s. And that is a older Freightliner McNillis rear loader. That is 36,721. That truck actually used to be a Southwest until they moved it, which, to be honest with everyone, I'm not sure why they did that, but really and truly, that's what just left me speechless. Is like, I don't know why they did that, you know. The truck has shown some age, like I said, because it is a 2007. You know, it's missing the middle piece, and like I mentioned, is that the Freightliners, the old 2007 Freightliners, are powered by a Mercedes manufactured engine. But the newer Freightliners are powered by a Cummins motor, a Cummins engine. So the one way you could tell if it's like an older rear loader or a newer one is by the exterior look. If like the exterior is faded completely, that's how you know that it's older. And then the McNillis label in the back is especially another thing. So yeah, and then we have this one, which I believe is one of the supervisor trucks. I'm not sure what the number is, so not really gonna bother trying to guess the number because I don't want to guess incorrectly. So let's go ahead and move on to another part, and I'll pause for a moment. So, okay, so I don't know if I showed this, but like I said, right there you have two best trash rear loaders, and then right here you have the one of the older auto reaches from the city of Houston, which is a 2011. It is 41340. I did remember I showed that one when it was back in 2019. That was almost several years ago. And yeah, this truck was basically down a long time because of issues. And yeah, you could tell because of the arm. It's missing a backup light, right there. And mainly all of the other stuff, the cosmetic issues are mainly just due to the truck's age. But the only thing I could say though is I'm happy that Houston actually gave those trucks a second chance where they're actually being used as spares and they're not already being scrapped. Because the thing was, the Condors were discontinued and the city realized that they couldn't get parts for them. So apparently I believe that's why they scrapped them, was because they didn't have parts for the Condors. So, and plus because, they didn't want to be spending money on the Condors because of how hard maintenance was. So right over there, we do have another one, which that's not a City of Houston company. It's actually like a company that was in Louisiana, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So let's move up a little bit. So we do have two auto reaches. That is 47622, which is northwest. Like I mentioned, 41340. If I failed to mention 41340 being a northwest as well. And then we have the one and only green 49 recycling truck, or basically the last newer 49 truck. That's 49135. Truck has changed a lot during the time. You could actually tell it's got a paint spill right there. It aged, and the 311 sticker right there is gone. So it's aged. Trucks age, they go through an aging process. I did film the truck back when it was new, which was in August of 2020, and then I filmed it like a couple months later in April of 2021. So interesting. And let's go ahead and check out some more. I will go ahead and pause as well. Let's get into it. All right, so here we are, Southwest. This is in the Alief area. Funny story, like I mentioned, is I actually really and truly did not know about this particular truck until like in May of 2024. It is truck 52174, and yeah, like I said, this really and truly is a very clean truck because the driver really does a good job with keeping the truck clean. So that's actually what I like about it, is that the driver keeps the truck extremely clean. Oh, look at that. There's a GFL front loader. And a funny story is actually the GFL station is located close by Highway 6. So, yeah. You can actually still see the auto car labeling right there on one of the mini flaps. So, yeah, these were actually like late production trucks, which means they got sent out later than expected. They bought these trucks in late 2021, and because Heil and Autocar were behind on productions, that's why they sent them much later. But the one thing I really like that they changed up was that they actually got the pythons without the hopper cover. And I like to say, it really does look interesting. At first, I didn't like the way it looked without the hopper cover, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, it actually doesn't look too bad. It's just my opinion, So yeah, that's usually the difference, is that the body can hold up a lot more than the older pythons. So the pythons originally held up to around 36,000 pounds, and like 36,000 pounds, I think. That's probably my best guess, but these either hold up to around 37,000 to 38,000 pounds. So honestly, it's a little bit more capacity. So, and one thing I like about the new pythons is that they didn't like put the weird mud flap placement. Like with the older pythons, they like had the flaps placed in the back, in the further back, like far behind the lift gate. And they like put these random boxes like in front of it. So with the new pythons, they don't have like the obstructing boxes, and they actually decide to put the flaps right here in the front. They actually have the Heil mud flaps. The first ones, which were the Mack trucks, which were 51,685 and 51,686. 685 had a Heil of Texas mud flaps, while 686 has Vanguard truck flaps. And the one thing I tried to figure out what this black dot actually was, it took me an extremely long time, and it actually took me really long to figure out what it was. And that actually turns out to be where the backup alarm would go. So yeah, definitely something interesting. And then when they actually sent the last new truck, which was 52947, which was the last new side loader for Southwest, the truck had some interesting changes, which were the giant struts for the tailgate, which they're painted in black. And honestly though, I could say when they paint it black, it really does give it a very nice style. And with 947 being a Mack, they actually did some minor changes. Like they actually made the solid waste labeling above the handle, and then they put the city of Houston and the number down below. Basically, I think they made the city logo a little larger and the numbering a little smaller, I think. I'm not 100% sure exactly, or they just try to do something that would work. So yeah, you know. So we do also have something, a very good throwback for anyone who wants to see this. All right, so it did take me a while. We are in a neighborhood in Alief, and look at that. A good old throwback from the city of Houston. For those who actually grew up in the 2000s, this is a older 2004 Condor. It is truck 34984. And this really interests me about the truck is the design of where they put the reflectors. Like they put it like that. Then it has like the dual brake lights. Definitely something interesting. Oops. Why does it do that to me? So this was taken in 2011, and the design of the round part of the back is more round, and there's your numbering right there. And then one thing that interests me about it is how the body is designed, how the front is more round and how the back portion is more squared. And you know, the older McNeilus is like had it where the body was like completely round. So I think that's why they kind of changed it up. And this, like I said, is an older Condor, and the older Condors had the larger mirror designs, including chrome right there. And then you also have like a front tow wire as well. So definitely very interesting to see. So and there it is. Like I said, this is just a throwback because it's kind of unfortunate that Houston doesn't have them anymore, but it is definitely cool to see Houston getting some new upgrades. So let's go ahead and show you the Northwest Yard now. So here we are at the Northwest Yard, and we got a lot of saying. That right there is 46,596. We have three older Freightliners, I should say. And I want to go ahead and make this quick. And here we have our first battle on Google Maps. That is 52,157. Oh, sorry guys, hold on. Give me a minute. Apologies, apparently the screen went dark because my computer's dying, so I do want to make this quick. So one thing that interests me about these battles when they got them is the mirror design. You know, the rear loaders had like the classic mirrors, and these had like, the side loaders had like the large black mirrors with the signal indicators, and the RLs had like the alloys, while the side loaders got the white steel wheels. But the change was also the arm, mainly the first one, which was the 520 51-451, had no plate, and the battles have like the arm plate. You know, originally Battle Motors was owned by originally Crane Carrier, and that's when Battle and Crane Carrier did a merge. And then right there in the back is your large radiator. So yeah, and then right over here we do have other trucks. That's 44-410, 44005, and then we have 41-338. So that does conclude it for part 11 of Houston, Texas trash trucks on Google Maps. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.